There we go. Okay. Make sure the feed is actually going up. Should be going online. Come on. Do. I am live, or at least it claims that I am live. So let's see. We're supposed to do. Okay. There. We'll reload that page. Make sure everything's going. I'm live. Looks like everything's set up. Stop this little tool thing that's going to try to edit us out here, and then whoever happens to be in wants to talk about stuff and things and stuff. I'm live. I had to reboot the page because while it was showing for you guys, it was showing the last stream that I did on my page just now. So, what's up? So far, it looks like Scott is in here. There we go. Got a big ass soda. Oh. Mike. Oh my god. Dude, today has been a little more ridiculous than I planned. I barely slept because of course I work third shift. So I got home, like my normal time, and then right after I got home, man, it didn't take but minutes for me to remember that I had repair guys coming over cuz of course almost nothing can go as planned. So we actually had a problem with a pipe. So I had to have people come over and do the snake thing and everything, clear out roots and whatnot from the pipes. And then when that was finally over, I tried to sleep a little bit before that. It did not go over well. Like literally at all. It did not go over well. And then when I finally got up, which was only about 3 hours of sleep or something like that, they were here working. So we did that. And then when they were done working and we got the pipes supposedly fixed, they left. And then I go downstairs to test the pipes that they were supposed to have fixed, and it flooded again. So we had to call them right back. And then, of course, I had to go get Gwen. I had to go get my books. I had to go get my stuff. I had to pick up 2 card games that I've had on wait down at the comic shop for a while. So I picked those up and just, it's ridiculous, man. It's what? Look, guys, it is what it is. You want to move up and do this and do that, you get that house, you get those house problems. Those are your problems now. You can't call the guy that you're renting from. That's your problem now. Oh, damn, this mic. So, you say you're trying to watch some Turbo? Well, trying. That's what I can say. I put a little time into it. I'm on episode 27, so I got like 3 to kill out, and then after those 3 episodes, I'm ready for the review. I don't know if everybody else is, but so far, I expect that you should be ready, Scott. You normally are, and then I'll be ready. Seth is pretty good about killing out what he needs to watch in the course of 2 days, so I imagine we'll have Seth, but I don't know after that point who we have or don't have. So yeah. Oh, you're just on passing the torch? Oh, you got a ways to go tonight. What was that? Line 19? So you got like 10 episodes to kill out or something like that? It's rough. That's rough. But at least we're getting it done. Like for a while there, we couldn't get these show reviews off the ground for nothing. At least we're finally making some leeway, and we're actually going to get these reviews up off the ground. Got 3 people in here so far watching. Anybody that has topics or whatever, that's what I'm here for the next hour and a half, 2 hours, something like that. You have conversation pieces, you want to know what's going on in the show, what's going on with me, topics, ideas, whatever, drop them in here. That's exactly what we're doing. I gotta buy myself a coin collection soon, like for these, because I have the White Ranger, and of course I have the Green Ranger, and I have his morpher, but I don't have any of the others. And they have the other morpher, which is the silver morpher, but honestly, I find myself not caring, because I mean, I have this, and that's good enough for me, honestly. I'd rather just get the coin sets now. I saw that they're releasing them through the Legacy Collection. I was at Toys R Us not way too long ago and seen them. So I'm thinking I'm going to buy the coins to finish off the set, and then I'll just have the gold morpher, and I'll have the entire set of coins, and I'll find a spot for him in here. I still have those Ranger helmets too, and I noticed they started releasing bigger, they're releasing the big helmets, like the size of your actual head. You could probably wear them helmets. So far, the Red Ranger is already out, and from what I understand, the Green Ranger is, if it didn't already come out, it's supposed to be coming out like very ridiculously soon, along with the gold scepter that you're going to be able to have for the Gold Ranger, so I can call my pyramid. But anyways, they started releasing these helmets. They're about maybe this big. I saw like 2 or 3 of them at GameStop. I saw the White Ranger, the Green Ranger, and the Red Ranger, and they look really cool. And I think they even open up and everything, and they come on like a little stand. So I'm not exactly in a rush, but I might replace these soon, because these have been on the mantle for a very long time. But if I could get a more detailed giant head, like more, if they're about this big, so that would be cool. I would put them across the window sill instead of this little thing here. But I don't hate that thing. I mean, it was like a $25 drop. I got lucky to even find it. You want the truth of it? But I do think I'm going to buy those coins. I've been thinking about that for a while now, actually. And I also got, I mentioned it on Keeping Up with the X-Men, I actually got my my set came in for my Wolverine claws, so that's pretty cool. I like that edge they got right here. That is the reason I wanted this particular set, was because of that edge. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do touch-ups for these. I'm going to break this one and pull it back so that it actually fits, because my hand is not like, my knuckle is different. I broke my hand years ago, and my knuckle is in. It's in further than you know, like this one. So while this hand is okay with it, well, not right now because I got my Green Lantern ring. But yeah, I'm actually going to do this old Bill Logan thing. I've been looking into what I need. I'm going to buy a set of, it's going to be something close to, how do I put this? I guess you would call it like paintball gear for my chest area and my shoulder pads, and I'm gonna redesign it, is the best way I can explain it, to kind of create an armor. And then I'm going to take this, I got this really cheap Wolverine mask, like hardcore children's Wolverine mask, but I'm going to repurpose it. I'm going to strip all this away, and I'm going to spray paint this inner area silver. And then I've got a piece of red sunglasses, and I'm going to pop the lenses out, and I'm going to pull these up, because there's a little area right here for your eyes. I'm going to pull these up and back, and I'm going to glue that red eye inside of this so that the eyes are red, and this is silver, this is black. And then I'm going to glue, like hot glue lace, this hood that I've got. So it's kind of like a head glove that goes on, and I'm going to put that onto this and wind all this back to create an actual helmet piece. And then I'm going to buy a duster, and I'm going to put that on. So I'll have the armor, the duster, jeans. So it'll be kind of a cross between the Wolverine that wore gray and black and Old Man Logan. And that will be the old Bill Logan cosplay when I actually get out to the conventions and whatnot. What I got here? People talking about light bulbs. I'm judging you. I don't know why. Your stuff. I'm gonna have to open up my phone now for whatever just happened here. Because for some reason I got you here on my comments, sir, but I didn't get you on those comments. That's kind of weird. Click in here and see if whatever. I'll keep them both open. That's weird. I should have got you in both, but I didn't. I got you on my phone only. Nope, can't turn it that way. Gonna have to turn it this way. Keep it down here. You're judging me. Gaming program brought you back into the show, and all you can do is judge people. Oh man, I'm out, man. I have hours left to go, and I feel so drained and beaten already. I put a little more time into my game. I'm just about ready. I've been taking all my notes as to what I'm doing for the final pieces of my story and whatever, and I'm just about ready to build the final tower. Whoop. Do. Whoop. There's the stream right there. Damn. I don't know. It's weird. Can't get it to work quite the way. Pew. There we go. There's my stream chat right there. Now I know what people are saying and so on and so forth. That Spider-Man's picking up. Well, okay. Let me rephrase this before we even get into it. That Spider-Man is changing. No. I'm trying to think of exactly how to say this. I don't think it's necessarily deserved, but the current arc that Spider-Man is running right now is like these books just came out. Literally just came out. They're the book that I picked up this week that came out like today is already 3 times its cover value. There's comic shops that have already pulled them off the shelves and have already bagged them as collector's books and are putting them up because they're introducing something called the Red Goblin, which is Norman Osborn infected by Carnage. So he's going to bond with Carnage and become a whole new kind of goblin called the Red Goblin. And that's something that they're doing, or rather not something they're about to do, something they are doing right now. And the 3 books so far that have been released are already 3 times their cover price. So if this keeps going and this arc turns out to create a villain that nobody wants to let go, like a new classic villain, which the chances of that are very low. We don't see a lot of villains or heroes that are created today in the now that continue. I don't know how else to explain that really, because oftentimes what ends up happening is these characters are introduced and then either they outlive their usefulness really fast, or people are just resistant to change and all they want to do is they want to see their favorite villain, their favorite hero, and crap like that. So So I don't know what's going to come of this, and no one could predict the future. No one expected Harley Quinn to be as big as she would become. So it does happen, but these books could be worth an awful lot of money. So if you're picking them up, if you have them, man, hold on to them, because dang, like, I'm serious. The book that released today is already 3 times its cover price right now, and it's only been out for a day, and people are grabbing for it like crazy. So if this guy turns out to be like a big drop some 15, 20 years down the road, you could have one of those issue 1 first appearances that means something. Yeah, it was a weird storyline too, how he got Carnage. I admit I've been in and out of Marvel for so long now that it's tough for me to know. Like, okay, I follow Spider-Man. I read all the current Spider-Man books. I read Spider-Gwen. Doesn't really matter because she's Universe 65 or whatever. And I read Renew Your Vows. So that's my Marvel universe, except for, of course, X-Men. And that's it. So I didn't know exactly what was going on. I didn't know exactly what the whole deal with S.H.I.E.L.D. was, or why they had Carnage, or what the underwater facility was, or who the director dude was, and where everybody's went. And like a lot of the like I posted that thing not too long ago where I was talking about how I was reading Spider-Man, and he gets summoned by the Sorcerer Supreme, who happens to be Loki right now. That one, I did not see that coming in the least. That was not something that I expected to see, was Loki as the Sorcerer Supreme. But I mean, there's a lot that's going on right now. Like, there's the Infinity Gym thing, or the Infinity Countdown that's starting right now. So Wolverine is back in the books. That's the only reason I'm reading this Infinity event, is because it starts, Infinity Prime begins, or Infinity Countdown begins on a book called Prime, where Wolverine is sitting in the woods, and he's back to life and everything, and all these guys come out of the brush, and he stands up and he extends his claws, and he says something like, so I'm going to just ask one question before I kill all of you, or something like that. And it was pretty cool. It was a pretty sweet fight. And during the fight, it's revealed to you that he has, I mean, this was revealed before, because, man, Marvel, that's what I'm going to say real quick. Wolverine has like a 2-panel reveal in the book that started this whole Marvel Legacy thing, that is already dead, by the way. I mean, it's done. They're already doing that relaunch. But yeah, they introduced him there, and he gutted a frost giant, and you saw that he had one of the Infinity Stones. Well, the Infinity Stone that he has, I believe, is space, because it allows him to teleport. So he's like a really violent, powerful, sick Nightcrawler right now. So he's teleporting all over the place, and he has the claws. And there was this part where this like psychic dude, like telekinetic dude, traps him in this bubble thing. And he's like, I've got him. And he says something like, Bub, I'm the best there is at what I do. And what I do is teleport. And he just poofed out of the guy's hold and appeared behind him and like cut him like bam. And then he says something like, what did he say, man? I literally just read this. I'm going to have to go over it again because I was at work. So of course I was kind of skim reading as quick as I could, so that because I mean, I only have like 10 minutes on my break. But yeah, dude, it was wild, dude. So he's teleporting all over the place and everything. And then Loki shows up and tries to tell him, hey man, you need to give me that gem because I could take care of it better than you can. And he says something, and then he punches Logan in the face, and it cuts his face, and then he heals, and he's like, what was that about? And he's like, I just had to make sure it was you. So then Wolverine stabs him under the chin here and like goes through his eye and everything and pulls that part of his face off and says, "Oh, sorry, I just had to make sure it was you." It was wild. It was awesome. But I'm glad to finally have Wolverine back. X-Men comics in the past had Prime seems to be their go-to beginning right now because they did a Prime for the X-Men stuff that started the gold and blue, and now they're doing a Prime for this countdown stuff, so seems to be what they're doing. Man, Age of Apocalypse, that's very mixed feelings about that. Those 90s books, man, those were kind of the reason I stopped X-Men, because I grew up reading part of the 70s and 80s through back catalog, through X-Men classics. And then after that, all this 90s stuff happened, and like everybody got really like the art style really did not do well with me during that time. I remember everybody got really like everybody kind of got short and wide and extra bulky. Like it was, I just really, and everything was very extreme art, like the X-Men Gold original issues and whatnot. In fact, I think I literally have it sitting here right now, and I could show you exactly what I mean. Everything is extreme and elongated and look at us and check us out. We're edgy, and yeah, it's not a style I care for even today. And it's not just the costumes. It very much is the way that people were drawn. And even the Sentinels inside of that book, they're very like, oh, I don't know how to even explain it. They're edgy. They're the same ones we've seen, but like then they have all this extra crap that's on them. And like you're talking about the 90s was like the age of pouches, pockets, and belts. Every hero had to have like 6 or 7 pouches and like belts and straps and all kinds of crap on them. It was ridiculous. Like the 90s comics, man, that I feel like I understand it because that's what chased me out of comics. And it took me a long time. I was gone, I think from like 96. I think I slowed down way big on my X-Men. I started reading like a book here and there that I would pick up. Like I'd go in, get 1 or 2 books. Then like maybe 2-3 months later, I go in, get 1 or 2 books. So I seen in skim passing what was going on in the 90s. I just couldn't read that crap. And then it persisted to the point where I kind of left comic books, actually, because the 90s also had the whole Spider-Man thing where like he abandoned being a person for a while and he was the Spider. And then of course with the whole clone saga and everything, it just, heroes were not doing, especially it's in terms of Marvel, heroes were not doing that well in the 90s. It was a rough era, and maybe, who knows, there was probably some people that grew up and that was their era of comic books. That's what kind of made their comic fandom. But for me, it was very much a dead end with that stuff. I dropped out of comic books because of the 90s and then didn't get back in till like maybe 2014. Like it was a good decade before I actually came back and gave a crap about comic books again. But you know how it is. No topics? I'm actually surprised. I expected to see some of the regulars in here, but then again, I did get a couple of comments that said like bad time zones and things like that. Like one guy was about to lay down because it was like, sorry man, we have different time zones. He's like, I'm going to sleep right now, so I'm not going to be there. But it is what it is. I'll have to get these a little more notice than this time. I just wanted to make sure that I could do it, because this was not the YouTube channel that I originally had set up. Man, yeah, you stuck with it way longer than I did. 2000, like John Ramada Senior, John Ramada Jr. came in, and he draws everybody to look like a box. Like everybody's very squared, and then that ran its course with the whole Moreland things and all this other stuff that was going on, and of course you had Aunt May discovering who Spider-Man was at that time, and then didn't what was her name? There was some woman that Doctor Octopus started dating or something like that, and then she died and he lost it. I don't know. I don't care. I don't care. Like it was very rough, man. The 90s were very rough, and Spider-Man had that time where in the 90s he decided he was no longer a person. He was just going to be the spider, and he started running around. He only was in the costume all the time, and he refused to get out of the costume. And there were some cool things that happened. Like I remember during the 90s, wasn't he in the black suit? That's when he got buried alive, if I remember right. And also, the 90s had that problem that I think we're phasing back into, which I guess is inevitable. But the 90s had that thing for a long time where there was like four, okay, there were more than that. There was like six Spider-Man books running, and the main four, you would start a storyline in like Web, then you'd have to go to Peter Parker, then you'd have to go to Spectacular, then you'd have to go to Amazing, then you'd have to go back to Web, and that was like one story. And that's a pain because like that's the way like the trial of Peter Parker was, and I have that, and it's always a question on how to sort it. Do I sort it in chronological order that I know that this is one storyline? Or do I put my amazing with my amazing and my spectacular with my spectacular? But then if I ever go back to read it, I'm going to have the problem of getting to like web of, noticing that it's like part 3 and being like, ugh, and having to go dig around for spectacular so I can start the storyline on part 1 and then go find amazing. I hate that crap. All comic books should be self-contained. All of them. And I understand that you want to sell, 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 but like, okay, if I read a story in X-Men Gold, unless there's a specific reason for it to cross over with X-Men Blue because the two teams are meeting, that should be one book, one self-contained storyline, and I should be able to buy X-Men Gold, and unless the other team comes into that book, I don't need to know what's happening in that book. Like, it drives me crazy. I hate that crap. Was Team Up already? Team Up was done by then, right? Because it was Marvel Team Up. Marvel Team Up is like an off and on thing all the time, so it makes me wonder if that was running around the same time too. Guess I wouldn't remember, to be fair. Talking about quite a while ago. I do remember Unlimited. I have a couple of those. In fact, wasn't Unlimited? Wasn't that where the Carnage saga started? Is that like the first? Wasn't the first issue of all that? I can't remember for sure, but I seem to remember in the 90s. I think I think that Unlimited series. I think that's where Maximum Carnage began. I don't know. Surprises me. We're still. I mean, we're at 4. We're steady, but so far you're the only dude talking. 4 people. I'm curious who the others are around. Honestly. This room, I bought a lot of stuff that's coming in for this room, wall scrolls and things of that nature. So that's finally going to get done. Like I have some stuff that's going to be going on the wall over here and whatnot. And normally when we're in here, you'll see some stuff around the sides and whatnot. In fact, I wonder. Nope. Can't do it. Not right now, anyway. I was going to adjust the feed, but I'm not going to mess with that right now. I'll worry about it later, honestly. Yeah, there we go. So anyways, like you could see over here and whatnot, I always have this thing. Well, I got a couple of new wall scrolls and whatnot that are going to be coming into the room. I got some really cool ones, and I got a Wolverine that's already being shipped. That is just, he's magnificent. I can't wait to talk about him. For that matter, I'm actually looking forward to opening the other one that I got. Now that I have like 2 days off, I can kind of take my time and enjoy myself a little bit this weekend. I'm looking forward to that. Unlimited issues 1 through 10. See, I thought I remembered that. Maximum Carnage. And the 90s had that Clone Saga crap. Oh my god. Like, I'm sure there are people out there that like it. In fact, I know there are, because I listen to podcasts like the Crawl Space, and I know there's a guy on there who's a hardcore advocate that's like, you need to understand the history of what was going on at the time in Marvel, and why the things that worked and why the things that didn't. And he's very adamant that the parts that worked were good parts, and if you were to just sit back and relax and check out, but for me, that was a mess. That Clone Saga crap chased me out of comic books so hard, man. Couldn't stand it. Really could not stand it. Did you see there's a flash sale? Well, not a flash sale, but that's the reason I went and picked up the PlayStation card, because bought Final Fantasy IX, and then right after I bought it, literally right after I bought it, they were like, hey, do you like that game? And I was like, well, yeah, of course. I love Final Fantasy IX. Not really. But just making a point in general here. Right after I bought it, it went on sale. So I went out, and because Nick helped me with that, Nick got me a $20 card because I needed $1. And I wasn't going to go back to the store to get $1. So he got on Amazon and sent me a code. And I was like, thanks, man. So I bought that game. The next week, sale. Could have got it today without having to worry about it. But at the same time, the 2 Star Oceans are on there that I want. One of them is till the end of time, and the other one was the one for Xbox that then got remastered for PlayStation 4 or whatever. But I only got the chance to play the one for the Xbox for like an hour and a half or something like that, so I didn't get like any time with it at all. So I'm kind of looking forward to buying both of them tonight, like once this is done, going on there and getting it. And then who knows, maybe I'll stream a little bit with that tonight. But I'm definitely looking forward to going back through some of those. I looked at the HD for Star Ocean to the end of time, and it looks good, but it's definitely one of those games that remastering it did not necessarily help it. It looks I don't know. It kind of brought out all the little flaws in the old character models, really showcasing where it worked and where it didn't work. And you get that sometimes with these HD remasteries. Sometimes it's not 100% beneficial, because you can see, just like, there are times that the character models, because of the way they look and the way they're designed, they don't fit the background quite right. It doesn't look like they're supposed to be there. It looks like they're superimposed or whatever, and it just kind of bothers me. But I'm looking forward to playing it again. It's been many years since I sat down with that game. I can't wait to actually start going back through that again. That freaking Wish app. That thing's dangerous, man. I'm telling you. Once you start figuring out, once you start finding stuff you actually like, and you make a couple purchases, and it keeps leading you down other things, like if you just type in what you want, it doesn't really work. Like if you say, "Oh, I want X-Men," and then you start looking, you'll find like some stuff here, some stuff there. But if you actually find something X-Men, buy it, and then click related and start scrolling down that feed, that's what starts leading you into the really cool stuff that's kind of hidden, because the search engine just doesn't function the way you think it would. Like you think you could just type in something like Star Trek and you would get Star Trek stuff, but you don't. You get all manner of different things. Like you type in Final Fantasy and you get a bunch of sex fantasy toys. Like that's not what I was looking for, app. So then you got to go find some actual Final Fantasy things and then click related and kind of go by sales history, because guys that are buying like the Final Fantasy VII Cloud were also at the same time looking for Vincent, and that'll kind of lead you to the correct stores that you need to find on there. I found all kinds of cool stuff. And I found a bunch of stuff that I'm really happy for. I found not just wall scrolls, but I found a bunch of these cloth posters like that back there that I used to cover up that little gap. I found a bunch of those cloth posters, and that's going to be sweet. I'm going to hang those up like down around the washing room and things like that, because that room is a little torn up. And quite frankly, I am not going to spend the money right now to fix the room where the washer and dryer sits. That can be a 2 or 3 years later thing. Right now I have a lot of bigger things that I'm going to do with the house. Like this is going to be a pretty busy spring for me. And well, aside from working the way I'm working, there's going to be a lot of different yard work and things that I'm going to do this spring. Like I got to dig a couple of ditches, and I actually got to level out the burn pit so that it makes sense and can be used. Because right now I got to looking at it, and the way that he had that set up, there's no way. That's dangerous. I have a feeling that if you lit that log and it actually burned and the bottom of it burned out, it just roll right down into the woods like that. He didn't put up bricks or dig it out or level it or anything. He was just like, bam, there's a big log here. Let's burn it. Like that's pretty much exactly what he did. I'm not okay with that. I'm going to fix that. So there's a lot of little things like that. And then I got to fix some of the gutter stuff, the downspouts, really, not the gutters. If it was a gutter problem, I'd probably be pissed. But no, it's not. It's not that bad. Curious what really shows up from my Wish website shop. Oh, it's I was told that it actually affects your Facebook. It doesn't. So far, it hasn't done anything that I haven't seen before. So it's whatever. Dude, did you see, I don't know if you actually watched my Keeping Up with the X-Men, but I went to make a replay, right? And I was just about to leave. I bought the Wolverine Origins video game, and I was just about to walk out the door when I saw original, still in their boxes, figures. Yeah, dude, that's so sweet. Dude, I still haven't unwrapped them. I'm going to open them. There's really no reason not to. Like, one is worth $6, one is worth $10, and one is worth $14. I would rather just have them on my shelf, and if I can't resell them for $14, oh no. Like if I opened up Wolverine and that took his sales value down to say $5, well, I don't plan on selling him anyway, so whatever. Dude, that This Wolverine has been blowing my mind though, man. I had this when I was a kid, dude. Dude, it's so awesome to have this back. It really is. This is so unbelievable cool. The only thing that would have made this cooler is if I would have got the Wolverine. See, I had both Wolverines. I had this one first. I remember specifically because when I was growing up, I remember he had a gun. And I was like, why does he have a gun? Like, what does he do with a gun? And then I also specifically remember that the next toys I got a Sabretooth and Wolverine, and now I have the Sabretooth back with the tummy scratches. Now I need the Wolverine with the tummy scratches. I got to find that. And I looked at the back of the case, and it must have been in the second wave of toys that Wolverine tummy scratches showed up, because there's the Wolverine with the sword, which was from the original release of toys for that other thing that we were talking about when we did our show, when we talked about that stuff. And then there's the Wolverine with the gun. There's another Wolverine with the gun that looks like he's from X Factor or whatever, but I don't know what he's from, to be fair. I can't remember that costume. And then there's the classic Wolverine that actually has the removable mask, which, man, back then, that was a pretty big deal. That was not normal. Like, I remember I had a Batman where you could take his chest and his gloves, boots, and faceplate off, and then he was just Bruce Wayne in a black shirt and black pants. And I remember that used to blow my mind. That was so cool. But yeah, on the back here, that Wolverine with tummy scratches, he's not in here. So he must have been on the second wave of this stuff. And I also like how when I'm looking at this, they're trying to make it sound way bigger than it is. Like, spring out, slashing claws. Oh, shit. And then they, you get to, this is, self-healing wounds. When they try to make it sound like it's going to be so much cooler than it really is. It's just a flip tummy. But this one I love. This one I love because it's so dumb. You want to talk about desperately trying to sell your toy? And you didn't even have to try. He's Weapon X, for crying out loud. Anybody would have wanted this. Like, anybody that grew up watching our show that knew the X-Men, anybody wanted this toy. This is so stupid. In order to try to sell it to make it bigger than it was, high-tech training helmet is the special thing you get with this one. High-tech training helmet. There it is. Like, why? Why? They don't leave that up to your imagination or whatever. They're not like, can you see what's in there? No, they literally say, Weapon X includes official Marvel trading card of not Weapon X, by the way, because I can see the card in here. And then it's got the really cool picture, and it says high-tech training helmet, because each one of these characters came with a gimmick. Like, for some reason, Sabretooth has a little a thing. This, it almost, because of that orange, it reminds me of what came with our original Ninja Turtle toys. And I don't know what that's about. I don't know what that is. Like is it supposed to represent that he got like two bones tied together in the Savage Lands or something? I don't know what that is. I don't know. To be fair, I don't care either, but I don't know what that's about. I can't figure it out. It's so dumb. Man. Yeah, my helmet did not survive, and my belt did not survive the long haul either, because he has that belt with all those little things on it. I just ended up with Naked Angry Wolverine. Didn't take any time at all, because yeah, this belt has all these little things and straps, and then like the middle part kind of plugs in almost exactly like with our turtles. They had those same kind of belts. And then they got the helmet, and you got these wires that come off the belt that go up to it. Like, yeah, he won't. Okay, As an adult, I can keep that intact because I'm just going to put him on the shelf. But as a kid, that helmet stood no chance at all. That helmet stood no chance at all. We were kids. We were playing with our toys. There was no way that helmet was going to survive, man. No way at all. Oh, man. So ridiculous. Yeah, but I was excited to see those, dude. I was super excited to see those. But yeah, I got some cool One Piece statues and things like that. I haven't ordered them; they're all on my save list. I'm waiting because that Wish app, every day that you log into that Wish app, you get you get a tag or whatever, like a star, a sticker, and once you can get all the way up, once you can get to 6 on the 7th sticker you get, which all you got to do is sign in. It's like a daily sign in bonus. Once you get to 7, you get 50% off. And that's of your entire order. So that's pretty sweet. So what I plan to do is I plan to take about $150, which will accumulate to about $300. And I plan to go nuts and buy some of the statues and whatnot and clear some of this older stuff off the shelves here, because I'm building another shelf that's going to go across the wall on this side that's going to replace a lot of these, because I have these like tote things, because some people can't see it, of course. But those totes are going to be moved, and then instead there's going to be a shelf that's going to be put there that's going to cover that wall, and I'm going to be able to put a lot more stuff there. I've even been in debate as to getting like one of those display cases, like with the shutting glass, because if I get a big enough one, that could work really well for some of my stuff, because some of my stuff is really expensive, like limited edition hardcore statues that, quite frankly, I would not take chances with. Like I have an incredibly rare I think it's one. I think there were only I think it's 7 or 10,000 piece set, and I got like number 1,400 something, and I of course got the authenticity and whatnot, but it's a Spider Gwen, and she's brittle. Like if I were to drop her or mess with her and she broke, that would, dude. And I know it's possible. I know it's very possible and too easy to break those things. So I'm really debating a closed case that I can keep some of my more extreme stuff out of the way. Because then I have other stuff that are like $20 statues and stuff like that, and that's, I mean, they're out in the open, and if something was to happen to them, But there are a couple of them that definitely I would not be okay with losing them. No topics? Surprised, I really am. I figured there'd be more people, honestly, tonight. I thought I was hoping to set it up at a decent time. I figured 8:30, and I mean, I guess it's a weekday, so maybe that was my mistake. But for me, just expected more. I expected some more people to come in and ask topics and questions. I was expecting some of the Sentai fans to see the post, because I even shared it in the Sentai review stuff, saying, hey, if you guys want to ask them questions, now's your time. I'm live. But it didn't seem to happen. I saw the next wave of these Dragon Ball Z Build-A-Figures, and I can't remember who it is that you build this time, but I was unimpressed with pretty much all of them. It's like there's Super Saiyan Blue Goku and Super Saiyan Blue Vegeta, and I don't care. Not that I hate Dragon Ball Super or anything like that, but like if you look at that Vegeta and that Vegeta, you'll figure out that they're the exact same thing, except they popped off the black hair and popped on some yellow hair. And then I went and I looked and saw the Super Saiyan Blue, and what they did was they popped off the black hair and they popped on some blue hair, and that's it. That's all they did, and they charged me $24. No, I can live without it. Nope. Be on your way. I'm done with it. Don't care. Do like that Eternal Dragon that I got after everything, though. No, those aren't. Those are newer Dragon Ball Z figures. Those are from the Build-A-Figure line. But the old ones, man, I had a couple of those old figures. They were rough. Like they didn't move very well. Like, and in fact, the first Dragon Ball Z figures I had, the only thing that moved on them was their arms, and they couldn't move their elbows. They only moved like their shoulders, and that was it. So they could like put their arm up so you could straight punch, and they could put their arm down, and that was it. Their legs didn't move or anything. And like I had like Vegeta, and he came with this armor. It was like the armor that was in the two pieces, kind of like our flip head Rangers. And you just kind of put it on there and pushed it together, and there he had armor, and then you could take it off for battle damage, I'm guessing. I thought they released a Shenlong pop figure. Did they not do that? I know like Goku, like little kid Goku and whatnot from Dragon Ball and everything has been released, but I thought I seen Shenlong. What's up, fourth person? To be fair, I never know if that number's even right. I've had times where I'm sitting here and I'm doing one of these and I hang out for like 40 minutes and then I get off and it tells me that there were only 3 people ever watching the whole stream, and then suddenly when it posts it'll tell me that there were like 22 views or whatever, and I'm like, so 22 people came into the room, were bored that fast and left and never even asked a question? Like, I don't know, kind of blows me away. I was looking through that thing, and what I really wanted, I wanted a I wanted to find a Play Arts Kai Tifa Lockhart, or some, even if it was kind of like a knockoff, I don't care. I just wanted an original Final Fantasy VII design Tifa Lockhart to put on the shelf with my Final Fantasy VII Cloud, because I have original design Final Fantasy VII Cloud. I want Tifa to go with him, but the only one I found was it's very sketchy, and it was like $140, and I was like, nope, no, I don't think so, no. And then the other ones I found were all Advent Children, and they were still about 60, $70. And I'm not saying that that's not necessarily worth it, but just because I have the Cloud from Final Fantasy VII original design, I want the Tifa original design to go with it, and I could not find it for nothing. I mean, I found it, but not ones that I was willing to buy. It's a shame. I also tried to look up Cammy White, Street Fighter, because she was the character I used the most, definitely when I was growing up, and even into most of my adulthood. She was the one I trusted the most, even Street Fighter, all the way up to Street Fighter 4. But then Street Fighter 5, they kind of changed the way she worked, and I wasn't too happy with that. But yeah, I went into that app and I tried to look for her, and I found a couple of things. Some of them I wasn't too happy with the design, and then some of the statues were very much like Marvel vs. Capcom 3 or Marvel vs. Capcom 2 looking design, and I wasn't too keen on that either. I wanted very much either a Street Fighter 4 or Street Fighter 2 design, and I didn't find one that I was willing to pay the money for that I thought was high enough quality. I wasn't thrilled with it. Hmm. That kind of surprised, like online store specific. I'm surprised you didn't just buy it, because I thought you actually did buy things offline quite a bit. I need to clear a spot in here for my Star Trek stuff, and I need to finish my Next Generation crew. I got the looking, and because of the way that I was frantically, I started buying them at the exact same time I was frantically leaving. So I was packing stuff up, and I didn't realize that I skipped on a couple of the characters. Like, I don't have a Geordie LaForge, and now I have Worf in his I guess you would say gold. To me, they were an orange color in Next Generation, but we'll call them gold regardless. But I have that Worf. I don't have Red Shirt Worf, and I kind of want that. I kind of want Red Shirt Worf, and I would like red and gold Geordie LaForge. I would like that actually for the set. In terms of Diana, I got Diana in uniform, and I prefer it that way. I think that, I mean, sure, it was nice to see her walk around in her fun, I'm so sexy outfits, but truth be told, I preferred Diana when she, like, it's kind of weird. It wasn't until Diana was in an actual Starfleet uniform that I started to like her. Otherwise, I was just like, oh yeah, she's real cute. But I always kind of thought she was just useless. And then she put on that uniform, and it seemed like she started getting more stuff for her character to do, and she started developing in a way that I cared. And then I was like, oh, I like you now. So I'm happy with having that one. I have Riker, and I went looking, and I think I have one of the only Rikers until the movie stuff was released. And I don't like him because his uniform's all torn up, because he's like, I'm battle damaged Riker. And he's the only one from the first wave set that has battle damage. So it's really offsetting, because everybody else looks like they got their nice uniforms and everything. Like, I have 2 Datas and everything. I would really like to get my hands on the original crew. That would be a big deal for me. And what I want to do is I want to set something up in here when I get the shelf. I want to set up the Next Generation ship. So I'll put up the Enterprise D, because I have that really nice Crystal Dynamics ship. And then I'll put all the Playmates figures across the bottom of it. And then on the other side of the shelf, I'm going to put the original Enterprise and put the original crew around it. But I have to find somewhere where that I can buy the Playmates figures without it breaking me. Yeah, I went and got it. Man, the extra features, well, I mean, I don't know how hardcore you are about it, but I am. I listen to every single commentary. I watch every single behind the scenes. I watch every single documentary. Like, if it is a special feature on the disc, I watch it. And man, it's a lot to get through. It's a lot. Like, you'll watch a disc of 4 episodes. That's 4 hours plus 2 Blu-ray special features, which is like interviews and stuff like that, half an hour, 20 minutes a piece. Sometimes there's 3 or 4 on one disc. So that's 4 hours plus another hour and a half. And then 2 commentaries on 2 of the episodes, which adds another 2 hours. So that's one disc. I could spend like literally 10 hours on one disc. Like, that's extreme. So it's taken me a minute to get through it. I apologize. That's to tell me to go to work. But I don't have to do that today, thankfully. Man, I'm telling you, man, last night was killing me. I had to go tell him. I was like, look, I'm taking my wedding off. I was like, I would like to take the next 2 days off as well. I was like, I'm tired, I'm exhausted. I could make it through the next 2 days, but I just want one weekend where I can recover. Yeah. Well, I mean, that's not true anymore. I mean, it is from your point of view, but like I got a guy at work who what he uses is he uses this type of digital box thing, and he ordered the Ghostbusters Blu-ray, and then that's of course digital. And then what happened was a month later they released extra special features on a different version of that Blu-ray, and they just sent him the special features for free because he'd already bought it digitally. So he gets all the bonus features and things that we do, and sometimes he gets more and he doesn't even have to rebuy it. He was telling me about that. And that's I don't like it. I'm like you. I don't care for it, but man, it's happening. It's right around the corner, man. The world is going digital, and it's for little dumb reasons like this too, like because if they release this next generation set right now, later on, say a year down the road, they might re-release this damn thing again because they found some new stuff. And in order for us to get those special features, we got to go in and rebuy the whole damn thing and then sell our original stuff. Or that might be a bad idea because I sold my DVD Star Trek The Next Generation movies. I had the gold silver box set. It was gold on the bottom, silver on the top, and it was every single one of them was remastered and director's cut. So I saw the Wrath of Khan director's cut through that. Then I got the Blu-rays and I said, well, I don't need this anymore. And I sold the DVDs, and both the original Star Trek, the motion picture, and the Wrath of Khan in the Blu-ray white box set suck. They suck. They're the theatrical release. They're not the better director's cut releases. That was only on the DVD sets. So I upgraded to Blu-ray and actually lost content and then had to wait for them to re-release the content again on a special disc so I could go buy that again. So I have Wrath of Khan 3 times. And I should have only needed to buy it 1 time. It should have come with all the versions on one Blu-ray disc, and that should have been the end of it. But that's collecting. I mean, they know once they get your hands in it, they can keep you buying it. They know, they're not stupid, and that's just it. Movies figured it out a long time ago. Here's the collector's edition. Here's the extended edition. Here's the director's cut. Here's the special so and so edition. Here's the Blu-ray feature edition. And like some people, if they like the movie enough, they'll buy it like 4 or 5 times. And now video games have figured out, ooh, let's release the game, then let's release the game again with its DLC, then let's release the game again with a special feature, a remastery, and all the DLC. So you'll buy the same game from PlayStation 3 again, then PlayStation 4, and it's the same game all 3 times with a little extra in each game, and it's $60 a pop for each game, and we just keep freaking buying it. Just drives me crazy. Now, the Final Fantasy games, the only reason I'm letting it go with them is because here's my rule. If the game was on PlayStation 3, it's too young to be remastered. It's just the way I am. If it was PlayStation 2 or back and they want to remaster it or remake it or add to it and give me something, now I'm interested. I would love to see HD remasteries of the entire Onimusha series. Like 1, 2, 3, and 4. Oh, I'd love it. Give me Onimusha Warlords, Onimusha 2, Onimusha 3, and Onimusha 4, the Oni of the Ash. Give those all to me. I would love that. And I'd pay for it. And like when they re-released the Assassin's Creed, they released the 3 games or whatever, like that makes sense to me. Those were PlayStation 2 games that now look a lot better and you could play them again. And for people that got rid of their PlayStation 2s, I did not, but a lot of people did. That's spectacular. But then they do things that confuse me, like they released the Ultimate Alliance 1 and 2, but they did not release HD remasteries or even just freaking ports. If nothing else, ports would have been okay so that I could have played X-Men Legends 1, 2, then Ultimate Alliance 1 and 2. Because as far as I'm concerned, the X-Men Legends game is the only reason we got Ultimate Alliance. I really feel that way. So it almost feels like a disservice to not get X-Men Legends 1 and 2. Very disappointing. Very disappointing. But in terms of like rebuying Final Fantasy IX, that was a PlayStation 1 game. And if they can make it look better, and that's not necessarily always that this will be the truth, but if they can make it look better, but not alter the way that it played, sometimes I'm okay with it. It's weird. I know if it's too drastic of an upscale, like if they redo the entire graphics engine from the ground up and everything looks new age, then I expect that the game's gameplay will change to match more new age stuff. Because like Final Fantasy IX is the slowest battle system in Final Fantasy. And if it was to like the slight remastery that they did, it still looks like the original game, plays like the original game. It's fine. But if I was playing it and it looked like a new age Final Fantasy 15 and still played with that slow battle system, that I wouldn't praise that at all. Been thinking about like toys I miss. There are a couple G.I. Joes and things that I miss. I don't know why. It's just one of those, not necessarily like a nostalgia, but kind of like I look at the shelf and I see the things that I've been able to put back together, and I know there are still a couple of toys that I grew up with, like I wouldn't mind having the Spider-Man from the animated series collection that I had. He doesn't move very well. He's not nearly as cool as the Spider-Man I have on my shelf right now, but I would buy him again. And I remember I liked the Carnage back then. The Carnage figure back then was really cool. Oh, the Secret of the Ooze figures? They were like rubbery. I remember that. Because they were still just as bad as the turtles we grew up with. They didn't really move. Like their arms, their elbow joints and whatnot didn't move, but they were rubbery, so you could move them because there was no real resistance. But that was a negative thing, because I remember I played toys almost every single day. Literally every single day. So the guys would come over. We would decide what kind of game we were playing. We were playing Turtles, Mixed Universe, Dragon Ball Z, what we were doing. And what would end up happening is those turtle figures got wrecked. Like their heads got smashed in and their arms got like messed up and everything, and their legs. Like one kid, he kind of turned Raphael's leg inside out because he just kept pushing the foot up like that until he got it all the way into the leg, into his like leg socket, and then I had to pull the leg off, and it was a nightmare trying to get his foot back out, and just little things like that. Today they would be fine because they would just go on my shelf, but like kids, man, I was watching Gwen play with some of my Power Rangers today, and I told her, I was like, you are really brutal on my stuff. How about you put my stuff down? So yeah, like kids, man, they play hard with toys. It's not like we tore our toys up, and I can remember back to certain things that I had that I really wish I'd have thought ahead. But I mean, that's being a kid. It's being a kid. But there are certain toys I miss. Like one set of toys I miss a lot, and I never thought that this would be true, but trying to find them to buy them again is a nightmare. And I don't know where I would put them. They'd probably end up like in my garage. I'd have to make a table for them or something. But one of my favorite Star Wars toys was actually the Star Wars miniatures, the Micro Machines, like with the Darth Vader helmet that would open up and then it would become Mos Eisley. Or, like, you know, no, it wouldn't. The Darth Vader helmet, I believe that opened up to be Cloud City, because I think he had the thing on the back of his head that, like, the window that would open, and he also had a little thing you would turn it, and the little Han Solo would come out. And so little things like that, I loved those. I had the Death Star. I had two of them. Three of them. I had three Death Stars. I had one which was half of a Death Star, which was like a little playset. It had one half of it was like a landing bay, and the other half of it was like a thing where you played, like, you know, computer areas and whatnot. And it came with Luke and Han in stormtrooper costumes, and it came with an actual stormtrooper, and then it came with an X-wing and a TIE fighter. And then I got another one which was kind of like flat, and it was like this big, and it was kind of flat, and it was 4 sections. And what you would do is you would pop this little top thing off and fold it out, and the 4 sections would lay into 2 floor sections, and then these were the two, like there were 2 things here, and then there was 2 floor sections that connected those, so it stood up into this big thing, and it had all kinds of TIE fighters and things that went in it. And I had the Millennium Falcon, and it came with a bunch of stuff, and I loved that thing because you opened it up, and it was the whole Falcon was in there. Like, the whole thing was in there. You had the little turntable where the guys played the weird chess game, and you had a little cockpit area, and it was just, I thought those toys were so magnificent. I had another Death Star that was the big round Death Star that I would fly my guys around it, whatnot, and shoot at it and try to fight it. But then there was a little tab in the back, and if you pulled the tab out and then pushed it down, it unfolded into like 6 areas, and it was Tatooine. So it'd be like Luke's little farm area was over here, and Mos Eisley was over here, and then like up here was like Jabba's palace. So like each one of the little sections of this Death Star after you pulled it open was different. But dude, I loved these toys, and yeah, they were like little Micro Machine things. They were like kind of like Mighty Max, like you were saying, dude. Those were my favorites. They really were. Those were my favorite Star Wars toys, and I miss them. I miss them because I think what I would do now that I'm all grown up is I would build scenes out of them. Or I might even use them to create my own miniature Star Wars game, like to actually do like a Star Wars battle of my own, build my own RP system. Because like I had Hoth, I had 2 Hoths. I had a 4-section Hoth because they had the normal ones that came out that were like these little play sets, and Hoth was maybe about this big. Literally, it's like a little bit of snow, and then it was like this little mountainy thing with the little round ball cannon, and then over to the side was like a little foldy door, and there was just enough space to put an X-wing and an A-wing or a snow, you know, whatever, I can't remember what they're called right now. And that was it. That was all the room you had in this little thing. And it was about that big. It was a little playset. So that was cool, but then later I got another one that was a sectional thing. It was another one of those ones that folded up and was like kind of flat, but then what you did was that the top of it just looked like snow. So you unfolded it, and it turned into this thing where like this looked like the side of a mountain, and this was all snow, and there was like a little ice cave back here, so you could fight the whatever that Yeti looking thing is. Sorry if I'm not hardcore enough for the Star Wars fans. But then on the other side was like other side of that wall, there was a little thing you could open, like this door, and on the other side was like a hangar bay, and it was about this big on its own, and then it had all kinds of stuff. And dude, I would love to have those again. I would love to have those again. Those were some awesome toys, man. Like everything I remember about those Micro Machine toys was awesome. And what sucks is when I have found them before, they're too expensive. They still cost the same amount of money that they did when I first had them. So yeah, because like you just sent something to me, I believe, or rather it's on its way, you said. But like when I don't know. I don't know if I could spend $40-$50 per on each one of these sets all over again, because that's a lot of money. And I mean, there's a lot of other things that I could do with $40-$50. But man, those were so cool. Those were my favorite Star Wars toys, man. They really were. I miss those things like crazy. And I actually have a couple of G.I. Joes that I miss too. Like I had a lot of the ninjas, and then I had this diver dude who was like yellow and blue, and he had this red visor thing. I keep wanting to say his name was like Tiger Shark. But yeah, like I remember those. That for some reason that really stands out. I would love to have that back. Ninja Turtles, not so much. I have the original stuff, and that's all I really care about, to be fair. What's up, man? Yeah, it was. It was, dude. It was really surprising to get that. Dude, I couldn't believe it when I saw those in the store. I guess I would like the Shredder again. I don't have the 80s original variant Shredder that came out in like Wave 1. I have the 4 Turtles, and I have Splinter, and I have a Foot Soldier, but I could not find a Shredder. And he's not even that good either. He looks awful. Like the original Shredder that came out back then just looks, he's like really super skinny. He looks almost sickly, like he's dying or something. But he would still be cool. I would still be okay with him. And I remember back then they kept trying to do gimmicky crap with toys, like they gave them real shirts or like a real coat, and then of course you would lose the coat or tear it or mess it up somehow, and then that was the end of it. So it was just wasted. It was wasted on kids, and we were kids. You know what I mean? I mean, that's what it was. So it's not like I hate the idea. I had plenty of fun when I was a kid, but yeah, like it's definitely one of those things that had I known, but I didn't, you know, and it is what it is. Gonna click this thing and see what you sent me here. No. No, that's not it. Nope. No, that's a new one. That's not the one I grew up with. This is the Millennium Falcon one you just sent me. This is not the original Micro Machine one. Mine was really cool. It actually opened up and was the Millennium Falcon on the inside. So it wasn't that thing. Let's see this other thing you sent me. See what the other link was. Yep, that's the new stuff as well. And look, like $120, kiss my ass. I mean, it is what it is. It's one of those toys that's it's old. I don't see them anywhere, and when I do find them, they still cost the exact amount of money that they used to cost when they first came out. It's ridiculous, and only somebody that knew and played with them knows what to even look for. Like, because now the line is back, so they're doing Micro Machines Star Wars again, but it's not the ones that I grew up with. It's not the ones that I would be interested in. And the only reason I'd be interested is because I grew up with them. I mean, realistically, that's why. It's the only reason I'd care. Otherwise, like just like I passed the ones in the store by, I'd pass those by too. You still in here, Beck? You got anything? Any topic or anything? Kind of wish I had the manpower tonight. I would get on that Star Trek bridge crew. I know I can platinum that game. I have to beat the 5th mission, and I have to beat one mission as a Vulcan. I have to beat another mission as an engineer, and I have to perform a couple of random easy tasks, and I'd be real close. I could platinum that game. I know I could do that. That's not out of the realm of possibility. Man, it's going to be rough tonight. It will. I can feel it. It's just you go so long without decent sleep and everything, and man, I know that I need to make it till at least 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, and I can feel it dragging on me now. So I don't know what it's going to be like, because it's only 10 o'clock here, man. It's only 10 o'clock. It's going to be a rough haul to 5 in the morning. That's for damn sure. I was kind of hoping this, like that. I think that's the reason I was hoping this would be bigger. I mean, I'm having fun, but like, damn, this would have been real helpful to kind of wake me up. Dude, I still can't believe I found those X-Men though, dude. It brought a lot back. Finding those X-Men brought a lot of stuff to the forefront, like toys that I used to have that I kind of wish I hadn't got rid of. I mean, I don't like none of the Jurassic Park things or anything like that. All those that bit the dust and everything, that's nothing. But there are a couple of toys, a couple things here and there that, man, I remember that just to have them sitting on the shelf, man, it would be nice. It really would. You remember when we were kids, one of the biggest pains in the asses was if you liked Batman, when we grew up, you could not get Batman. Wasn't possible. Like every Batman was like Red Sun weird Batman, Army, like in the jungle Batman, electric Batman, diving Batman, sun Batman. Like it was ridiculous. Like every Batman was like multicolored rainbow phenomenon, and like the special toys and all kinds of crap like that. But no, you could never just get Batman back then. There was just not the standard suit thing. Oh, looks old enough. Ouch, with the $170. Ouch. Does it not have any other pictures? That's it, just that one picture? I guess if the guy never opened it, I guess he wouldn't have any other pictures, to be fair, but that's kind of mind-blowing to me that he wouldn't try to sell it with any kind of recognition. This guy's selling for 170, but then there's a sponsored one that I think is selling the same thing, and he's selling it for 127. Oh, no way. Hold on. I might have found it for 9 pictures. This was it. I found it. It's only $30. You can't see that. No, you can't. You can't do it. I'm going to send this back to you real quick. Oh, damn it. I just lost it. I got to go back in and find that. Whoa. There it is. Bam. Here it is, Scott. Check these pictures out. This is what I was talking about. This was the thing that I grew up with. It's the thing I played. This one's for $30, and this is it. See, it has the little compartments in the back, like the engine room where you would work on stuff. And then the next picture, it shows that it actually has like a landing gear thing that comes out that's kind of cool. The back is a handle because it was supposed to be a carrying case for all the other stuff. And then you see the cannon on the top and the little cockpit right there in the back. And the bottom has those three things there. And when it opened up, this is when things got interesting. When it opened up, it was the Millennium Falcon. It has that big round area and it's got the little tray that you can open up. So like the smuggling compartments where they could hide inside of them. It's got an engine room in the front. And then it's got this weird like thing that's not the Millennium Falcon, but it's supposed to be like just an extra area of the playset, which I don't understand exactly what it is. But the rest of it is very much like the top part of it. You got the little medical bed where when he got his hand chopped off and he was rescued, they put him in that little medical bed. So you got that in there. Of course, you got the cockpit. And it's just, you got the little computer that they went over and talked to, and they were like, and then, you know, because R2 reaches his hand in there, his little thing just turns the knob, and it's like, oh, there you go. You got light speed back. Like, this was it, man. This is the thing that I had. It's mind-blowing to me. It really is. This was such a cool toy, dude. Telling you, man. It was so awesome. And actually, I see the Death Star on here too. The exact Death Star that I used to play with is here too. I'm going to send that to you. Here, man. This was the Death Star I was telling you about, how it folds out, and then it's like a giant actual Death Star with a bunch of areas that you could play in. So it's got like the reactor where Obi-Wan would have climbed around the reactor to try to turn this stuff off. And then, of course, it's got the laser, and it's got the Emperor Palpatine area where he would sit. And then it's got the little door thing, the little side wall that you could see where all the stormtroopers are supposed to be. And this one is broken. It doesn't have all of its pieces, so it is missing some stuff. But the bay is big enough, and then it folds into that little thing so you can attack it. And dude, I loved these toys. They were so simple. And from what I understand, the Micro Machines line that I loved so much, it failed. It actually did not go over well. It was a failure. It was considered a colossal failure. And I don't know why or how, like why it didn't sell, but it got canceled because it couldn't make the money at the rate that they wanted it to. So they were putting these out, and they were getting passed over for like the bigger toys, because people wanted the actual big action figures that looked like the guys, where I had a big enough imagination where as long as it looked enough like the guy and the playset, because playset, man, that was the thing that got me with these, is that is a big Death Star. When I'm playing with the actual figures when I was a kid, that's, you know, as big as my hand or whatever, that figure, I'm never going to have a Death Star that's big enough for that dude to be in, because it would have to be like that aircraft carrier for G.I. Joes. Like I never owned that, and I never will. And that's about the only thing that I could think of to scale. Like, remember our Technodrome for the Turtles and how sad that was? Had we had Micro Machine Turtles, the Technodrome could have been like this big. And when it opened up, it could have been like 5 or 6 different playset areas inside of this one thing, and you'd have had little turtles. And they did have those, but I did not play with them. So I missed out on whatever that was. But I loved the playset idea. That was the big thing that drew me into these. Like that Millennium Falcon is so cool because you're like in it. You know what I mean? And yeah, the golf ball Technodrome was so dumb. Like when you opened it up, one side was just big enough to fit one guy, and then there was like the two seats that were in the middle, and then over on the other side there was like, it was dumb. And I was so jealous because there was a kid that had that Technodrome, but looking back at it, I would not buy that today. I wouldn't. I'm not a big enough fan of those toys to care. Having the turtles is one thing. I love those turtles. I've got them on my shelf. But there's no way I would go out of my way to buy that Technodrome again. Like it the figures are too big and too bulky, and that thing was not big enough to be a Technodrome, because when you put the Technodrome down and then you put the turtle down next to the Technodrome, technically if three turtles stand on each other's shoulders, they're as big as he was. They're as big as the Technodrome. So that was never, it was never as exciting as the Micro Machines that were like a giant awesome playset. That was so cool to me. I actually think that this has ran its distance. We're at an hour and a half, and I guess I did all right here, so I'm going to head down and get on the PlayStation party. So if you're still on there, Scott, I will see you there. Otherwise, everybody else that came into the room or that sees this video later, we'll try this again another time.